The worst severe weather setup of May is about to be here, with a big severe weather setup, especially on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. We'll be talking about what you need to know about these severe weather setups, so let's get right into today's video. It's Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, and we got two areas to watch for potential severe weather today. One is up here in parts of the Great Lakes region and parts of the Midwest over here, where we will have the potential for some damaging winds and some hail. Now up here, we don't have a big tornado risk. I wouldn't rule out maybe a little tornado risk up here towards the Midwest within some of these areas, but it's very low. The main concern up there will be some damaging winds, mainly within these areas, as well as some potentials for some hail within the side of some of these areas. And then we got another area down here in Florida where we also have potential for severe weather, where we have a chance to maybe see an isolated tornado or two with a 2% tornado risk out here in parts of eastern Florida. 2% tornado risk is including Orlando, Daytona Beach, West Palm Beach. You guys need to be watching out for an isolated tornado today with some of those storms. Damaging winds and hail will also be a concern out there. Out the future radar here, you can see that these are some of the storms that we could be seeing out here in Florida. We're having a chance to produce a few tornadoes, damaging winds and hail, as you can see right here on the future radar. So definitely stay prepared if you're out here for potential tornadoes, damaging winds, and hail as some of the storms move through. So the storm should develop from the afternoon, late evening mainly. That will probably be the main concern, probably from like that late afternoon hours into parts of the evening. Then the storms will kind of push through out there. And then up over here towards the Midwest, you can see these are some of the storms that we could be seeing out there that develop. You can see maybe an isolated tornado threat, mainly out here. But nothing too crazy with tornadoes up here, main damaging winds and hail. And then the line of storms, like Chicago, you guys could get your storm potentially around 11 p.m. Eastern tonight. Then the storms will kind of weaken into a line right here, and it's like a little line. It probably won't be causing anything too crazy. But eventually, those storms will actually continue moving southeast, and then that will cause another tornado threat tomorrow on Wednesday in parts of West Virginia into parts of Pennsylvania, as you can see right here. So for tomorrow on Wednesday, we could be having another severe weather setup from parts of Western Virginia into southwestern Pennsylvania within these areas, with the line of storms that weakened will potentially redevelop with a few storms that develop behind it. I think there might be a small tornado risk out here tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but damaging winds will be the main concern out here tomorrow. Within these areas, so definitely be aware for that, as there's going to be a few lines of storms, maybe a few supercells that develop. So it's going to be pretty low tornado risk tomorrow back there. And over here for Wednesday for tomorrow as well, up here from Salt Lake City up to parts of Montana, you guys could actually be dealing with severe weather tomorrow on Wednesday as well, with the main threat going to be for damaging winds as well as some hail. So if you're out here tomorrow, the threat for severe storms is low, but you guys do have potential for some storms out there. So definitely be prepared out there if you're over there on Wednesday as well. And I think Thursday is going to be a very low threat for anything too crazy, but from Enid, Oklahoma up into parts of southern Nebraska, you guys could see a few severe storms on Thursday. That does include Wichita to Great Bend, Kansas, and some of those areas in Enid, Oklahoma. Now, the main stuff is going to be on Saturday and Sunday, and potentially after that. So, as you can see here, there's a 15% any severe risk probability out right now from parts of western Oklahoma into southeastern Nebraska, where we could be dealing with severe weather on Saturday with damaging winds, hail, and maybe a couple of tornadoes on the table. I don't think tornadoes will be the main concern, though. For Saturday, we're going to have some storms potentially develop, as well as a potential for severe storms actually on Sunday within these areas. Sunday could be a pretty big outbreak if we get everything to mature and all those storms to kind of work out and kind of, be pretty significant. So definitely got to be watching, I think, Sunday very closely here, because I think Sunday could be a pretty significant severe weather outbreak. So definitely be prepared for that if you're out there. And if we switch over to the feature radar here, you can see what I mean by this. So if we push it up for Saturday, you can see this is just the GFS. It's not that detailed, but kind of just shows you where we could be seeing that severe weather out there. This is for Saturday. You can see we're going to have a few storms develop out there, causing that potential for severe weather. And then on Sunday, you can see here we're also going to have a few storms potentially develop out there. Now, there could be stuff that could limit the storms from being too crazy, like the cap and some of the convection. So it's definitely, some of it might not go that, it might not be that crazy, but definitely you got to be watching it. And then still watching Monday too for potential severe weather, looking from all the way from the Great Lakes region down to Texas. So I've been watching Monday though as well. So definitely still watching Monday. And if we switch over to CAPE here, so this stands for Convective Available Potential Energy. Think of it as storm fuel. Look at all the storm fuel that we're going to have out there. Our atmosphere is going to be pretty primed out there on Saturday and Sunday, so that's definitely something to be watching. So as you can see, we're going to have a lot of that storm fuel out there for those storms. So that's definitely something to also be watching very closely. And then another thing that I kind of want to look at here is also the dew point. Look at all of this moisture. This is going to be a dry line setup, as you can see here. It's dry over here and moist over here. We're gonna have a dry line setup, and just look at all of that warm Gulf moisture. That is crazy from how much moisture we're having out there, potentially leading to some pretty big severe weather setups potentially. So that's definitely something to be watching. And our moisture today doesn't seem to be that crazy, so that's why we're probably not having a big severe weather setup. But yeah, and then Tuesday we also might have another severe weather setup somewhere out there too. I think the rest of May will be pretty active in terms of severe weather, so that's definitely something to be watching very closely. Switching over the temperature anomaly, you can see that we are actually having warm air. We're going to have a big heat dome make its way into the United States, and it's going to be pretty warm for a lot of you guys, okay? We got a big heat dome that's going to come through, as you can see right here. If we push this up, you can see it might have some cold air try to come through towards the eastern half of the United States, but then look at all this heat, and then we're just going to have a heat dome sitting over towards the eastern half of the United States. Today is going to be really nice, guys. If you're out here, pretty much almost anywhere in the United States today, it's going to be, like, very nice. If you're towards, like, the western half of the United States, like, look at all this. If you live in any of these highlighted areas, especially this dark green area, it's going to be a perfect day out there towards the Ohio Valley. So it's going to be a very nice day. So get out there and enjoy the weather today, as it's going to be real nice. You know what's not nice, though, is that we're going to have some fire weather conditions out here in the northern plains today. So definitely be careful if you're out there, and don't try to start any type of fires, as there is a elevated fire weather risk out there. For today, if you're over there towards the northern plains, definitely be aware, as there's elevated fire weather risk out there. Actually, as we end tomorrow on Wednesday, we have another fire weather risk. One is down there towards the Rockies, and one is up there towards northeastern Montana. And look at all this rain that we could be dealing with out here towards the middle part of the United States. As you can see here in the plains, we could be dealing with a lot of rain, potentially with some excessive rainfall being a potential within these areas. So if you're in these green areas, I'd definitely be prepared for potential flooding with the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Then we could be seeing below average precipitation out here towards the Pacific Northwest. So this is just like a clear indication of why we're going to be seeing the severe weather. See, there's this low pressure system that we're going to have back here, and then we're going to have these systems come into the United States, causing those severe weather chances out here in the plains and stuff. And then all that warm Gulf moisture is going to get sent upward, and then all that crazy stuff is going to happen in the middle, which is in the plains into the parts of the Ohio Valley and the Midwest. And guys, the stargazing conditions today is just going to be completely off the charts. You can see here pristine stargazing conditions if you're out here, especially in Ohio. The skies are just going to be exceptionally clear if you're out here in the Ohio Valley with a pristine skies rating. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got for you in today's video. Make sure to be staying weather aware, like and subscribe. I know this video is a little bit short, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next weather update video. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.